All right, everyone. Special day today.
Happy birthday, Lance.
Yes, today is my birthday. I'm 56.
And welcome to Nothing But Worry.
Yes, and also special because I'm on vacation this week.
Hell yeah.
This is the fourth day of my vacation. And it's also special because we are heading up to Atlanta for good times and fun. We're spending the day together.
Yay.
Going to go to some of our favorite places and some new places.
Woo-hoo. New old places. Different locations of the same old places we go.
Yeah. I made an extra effort to try to get some extra sleep before we headed out, so I'll be able to stay awake today.
And then I woke up all decrepit, and so we had to pause before leaving.
Yeah. And I had a good bit of caffeine, maybe getting some more later, at just the right interval. I shall avert my eyes at the appropriate moment.
What on earth are you talking about?
I saw a piece of a video about the making of the movie Little Big Man, and there's a scene in that movie where Dustin Hoffman is having a bath, and Faye Dunaway is the preacher's wife or something, and she's gonna hand him a towel or something when he gets out, and he's like, well, but you'll see me naked, and she says, I will avert my eyes at the appropriate moment. You ever see that movie?
Once, a very long time ago. It wasn't very memorable or very good in my opinion.
Oh, it stuck with me for years. That place is getting mail, but nobody lives there.
I saw someone going in there the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
That vehicle parked in the garage has got a flat tire. It's been sitting there.
Well, I saw someone walking in.
Anyway, movie came out in 1970, and I saw it on television when I was about 5 or 6, somewhere in there. And a lot of that movie stuck with me for years. I love that last line of the movie. Well, sometimes the magic works, and sometimes it doesn't. So, I have a couple of topics to go over. But before we do that, let's just catch up on anything happening in our lives at the moment. What's going on with you?
I honestly can't think of anything. Sorry, Lance.
Okay. I'm getting over a cold finally. I had a cold for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then you gave it to me. Thanks, Lance.
There is a YouTube channel called The Critical Drinker. And I used to watch him because he tears down shitty blockbuster movies. But every single video is anti-feminist, anti-woke, anti-DEI. He blames
Anti-woman.
Yeah. He blames that for every movie sucking, So I get sick of it. But I am so happy to see more pushback now online. Found a channel this morning called something boozed. It's BB. But anyway, and the guy does parody videos of the critical drinker and Nerdrotic, which is another asshole, and it was really, really good. So that's something. Finished a painting last night. I'm working on a series of 32 paintings, and finished number 11 last night.
You also did some organization in your studio.
Yeah, I can't store paintings at the old studio anymore, so I built a little storage unit in the closet in the playroom, and I ran out of space, so I had to go up another level, so I bought some 2x2s and built another level for it. And So, anyway, the only topic I have written down, I had some stuff to talk about. The only topic I can think of, though, is I saw a video. I saw a video on people not being able to read today because they're not taught to read properly. And I feel I was taught to read properly. One of the things he mentions phonics, that is learning the sound of the letters in combination with other letters, and then learning to sound out the word. And that's how I was taught to read. And there was a television show on PBS back when I was a kid called The Electric Company, and it was all about learning to read. And proper construction of sentences and proper usage of words and stuff. And we used to watch that all the time. We used to watch that at school, first, second grade. But it's more than just learning how to read. It's also learning to read as a pleasurable activity, and it's also learning to develop the necessary attention span to read for like a solid hour, to read a whole book. And that's another thing that this video focused on, is that nobody has the mental capacity, the discipline to read an entire book anymore. And I think that's very true. When I was a kid, I got a reputation at school and amongst my it's raining, by the way, extended family as being a reader. He likes to read, and I always felt it was odd. I mean, I'm just reading. Do people find it? Does my family find it so odd that I'm reading a book?
Yes, your family did. Whereas my family, we kept a set of encyclopedias next to the dining table. Because if some subject came up or some question came up, there was the encyclopedias and dictionaries, set of larger dictionaries there.
1977, my mother bought me a set of World Book encyclopedias, and it was one of the greatest things my parents ever did for me, because I used to just pore over them. And I remember being in like fourth grade maybe, and we're discussing something in class, and I had something to contribute. So I said, well, I was reading the encyclopedia the other day, and before I could get the entire sentence out, the entire class burst out laughing. That was just hilarious to them. What do you think about that, Bonnie?
It's sad.
But what about reading an entire novel in your family? Was that what was that?
Well, you have to understand, my dad was an English literature major. When he was working on his master's and his PhD, he was a TA. And the classes that he taught included the English 101, as well as British literature and poetry and such. And I remember as a child watching him grade papers, and he did it with a certain speed. And I asked him about it, and he says you get to know the students, and the way they write, it's just easy to go ahead and, assign these grades immediately. So, hang on a second. I gotta try to get out into traffic.
Okay. Well, this guy's turning. Jesus, with this huge trailer behind him.
Does he want me to go? I guess he does. But I can't.
He's waiting on them.
Lance, I have a damn...
See? You can't trust these people. He's letting you go now.
And the cop's doing nothing over there. Just sits there and watches. All I care about is giving tickets in this damn town.
I had a history class, a huge history class. There must have been 200 people in the class. And one of the things we were required to read was this biography of LBJ, and I didn't read it. But in my report, I somehow fudged my way through it. The TA gave me like a passing grade, but the professor, double checked, and he could tell I hadn't read the book, and he wrote F on it, and he scratched through what the TA had written so hard they tore the paper. This teacher he looked like Les Nessman from WKRP. He was an asshole.
Well, my dad explained that English 101 was to get the kids out of college that didn't belong in college. Mm-hmm. And it was a basic class. It was something you should have already known. And there was no excuse for you not passing English 101 with an easy A. Mm-hmm. I mean, our kids ended up just exempting classes like that. They had AP classes, and so they tested out of a lot of things. Like Peter took 0 science classes. He ended up taking an astronomy class. It was the history of astronomy. And so it did multiple things, like got his history and his science. He had 1 science remaining. And Reed did something similar as well. I wish they'd been able to exempt out of more math classes. That drove him nuts. Peter exempted out of all of the beginner Spanish. He was supposed to have 3 years of Spanish to go with his major. And it was 2 years of basic Spanish. And then a 3rd year of conversational or reading. And he chose conversational. So he did a conversational Spanish class where they had to go in and record themselves speaking it. They had to create dialogue. They had to have exchanges with other students as well as the professor. I don't remember what Reed did for language. I want to say it was also Spanish.
When I was a child, I read a couple of Hardy Boys books, Nancy Drew books. But when I was in 2nd or 3rd grade, I read the 1st and 3rd books in Ben Bova's Exiles trilogy, which was way advanced beyond that age group.
Well, I don't know about advanced. It's
for a 2nd grader?
For a 2nd grader, it was high school level. I thought it was more impressive when Peter read all the collected works of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle in 3rd grade. Mm-hmm. Because you're dealing with a little bit of a dated English.
Yeah.
The dialogue's a little more stiff and rigid, and the descriptions are also something that may be a little more stilted.
Well, but I didn't really catch the reading bug until I was I must have been 13. Yeah. I can't remember what came first, but I was a big James Bond fan of the films, so I thought I would read the original books. And the first James Bond book I ever read was Diamonds Are Forever, in the old Signet editions from the 60s. And there is, and still is, a gift shop at the hospital called the Pink Posy. But back then, they sold donated stuff too, and I, for some reason, got a used copy of that from that gift shop. I don't know why, but anyway, but around the same time, again, reputation as a reader, the preacher's wife was cleaning out her basement, and she gave me a big stack of books, and in there was an old edition of The Mastermind of Mars by Edgar Rice Burroughs, and that really sent me off on a tear. And later got into Hemingway, Faulkner, Fitzgerald, Kerouac, Miller. Yeah, I was a big reader for a long time, and then basically stopped because I wanted to learn to read German, and that was just years of slogging through that. I was trying to work my way through Dickens when I stopped to learn German. Oh, speaking of which, I got a birthday card in the mail from my dad. I don't know where he got it. It's a German language birthday card, and I was just delighted. It was such a nice thing to do. We were passing by the old overhead door plant. I used to work there as a temp a long time. I worked there as a regular too. What a horrible job. I'll tell you a story about that. When I was a temp there, and this was around this time period because it was my birthday, I went on a horrible binge.
Drinking, drugs? What?
Drinking binge. And had the shakes afterwards. Horrible DTs. And hadn't slept in 2 or 3 days. So, but I had to go to work. And so I went to work at that place, having not slept in 2 or 3 days. And I was having auditory hallucinations the whole day and barely could function. If you've never been addicted to alcohol and you've never been through DTs, it's not fun. Finally made it to lunch break. So I went out and laid on this picnic table out near the parking lot, and there was some sort of utility truck working on something up the hill on the road. And the guy was listening to the radio, but I couldn't make it out clearly. But in my hallucination, it was the Rush Limbaugh show. And I could hear somebody with this sort of clown voice talking back and forth with Rush Limbaugh. And it was just, it's bizarre what your brain can make up. Horrible. Oh, another thing. When I was in the plant, we had the job was you got a sheet of invoices. You had to collect all this crap through the building and put it in a truck on different loads. And I kept hearing this tinny little speeded up orchestral music in my head all day long. It was horrible. Oh my God. Bonnie and I were talking about something about this, my past, just the other day. Just how lucky I am to be alive and lucky I haven't killed somebody. So the plan for today is we're going to hit a couple of Indian grocery stores up here, and we're going to go to the Buford Highway Farmers Market. Normally we would go to the DeKalb Farmers Market for sure, as well as other places, but today we've been there so often and we haven't been to Buford Highway Farmers Market in a long time, so that's really more the focus today. What was some of the other stuff?
Those are the only things we're doing, Lance.
Okay. Now, there are a couple of big Indian grocery store chains. The big one is Patel Brothers. They're all across the country. I don't know if Cheerians is across the country.
No, it isn't.
But normally we go, there's 2 of them right beside each other in Decatur. And we've been there many, many times. Well, Bonnie found another Cheerians location and another Patel Brothers location. So we're going to try those today.
It's up near Johns Creek where our endocrinologist lives up there, and she travels every day.
Really? She drives that far?
Yeah, there's a huge Asian community there.
I would imagine she's of Arabic descent.
Her name's Al Anbari, sweetheart.
Yeah, I know.
She's from the Anbar province of Iraq.
Oh, you've spoken to her?
Her name is Al Anbari, meaning of Anbar.
Okay. I wonder how. I mean, that's such a repressive place for women.
She went to medical school there.
Really?
And then she came over here and went to the University of Chicago Medical School.
Really?
Yep.
How'd she wind up here?
Georgia? I think she came here by way of Chicago, then Miami. Yeah, she's got good credentials.
Yeah. Last time I saw her, I complained about the music in the waiting room, and she's like, "Well, if you don't like it, you can ask them to turn it down when you come in." I'm like, "Oh, Jesus, this is totally unnecessary."
Why pay for a music service?
Most people are staring at their phones anyway.
I know.
It's like having a television going in the waiting room.
It's ridiculous.
When I was a kid, went to this dentist, and back then his waiting room was just, the whole office was so cozy. It was the waiting.
Goldman?
Wilbanks.
Oh, yeah, Wilbanks was first. I forgot.
Yeah.
Carlos.
His waiting room was dark, and it was accent lighting, like table lamps. No overhead lights, but table lamps with like green shades. And
Banker's shades? Banker's lamp?
basically, yeah. And all these magazines laying around. He had Omni magazine. Nobody remembers that.
Well, science magazine for the masses.
Yeah. And it was just very cozy and quiet and intimate and padded. And I would pay $5 to see a photograph of his personal office within the practice, because I only got a glimpse of it once, but it was this classic 70s furniture,
Did
decor.
your mother work for him at one point?
My mother was his receptionist a long time ago.
Oh my God.
She had, she kept her name sign from her desk. It was a wooden sign with her name painted in like this sort of script type lettering. I wonder whatever happened to that thing. She had that for years.
I found my desk nameplate from before we were married. It's now on the fridge.
Oh yeah. She told me her wedding ring used to have these little lines on it, like etched lines, and she thought she would polish her wedding ring on some tooth polishing device in the office one day, and it buffed out those lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
She just had her birthday.
Yeah. This is the first birthday that I've had that she's not been around to see. Sort of sad. Her birthday was the day before my wreck,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Still need to bust your butt for doing that.
Who does?
Me. I mean, you've just inundated me with paperwork for the last couple of weeks. Christ, Lance. They keep rewriting insurance policies, and I keep finding errors on them and having to get things changed. And
Well, that's what you're here for, isn't it?
I'm not going to bother with all the misspellings. I mean, how do you misspell the word capital?
Well,
Well, I mean,
don't know.
literally reversing the I and the P. I don't mean a TA versus TO, but I mean, yeah.
Oh, well, let's see here. I'm trying to think what we've done on my vacation so far. Oh, I'll give you a little something we had. We went out yesterday for several errands, and like I said, I'm building this next level up on the painting storage rack, and the way I did the previous one for like a shelf, over the 2x2s, I used this heavy-duty cardboard. And I thought, okay, well, when we go out for the errands, we'll look around for some cardboard. We'll go to, like maybe a liquor store, pick up some cardboard boxes. And Bonnie said, let's go over to where our son used to work, Office Depot, because they throw away cardboard all the time. And
Actually, I told you to go inside because they bundle their cardboard.
so in the past,
You went to the dumpster.
yeah, in the past, before my son drove, we would drop him off and pick him up every day at work. And sometimes just while I'm waiting, I would look in the dumpster outside the place, right? So I thought, okay, that's what I'll do this time. So I look in the dumpster, and they have thrown away a whole case of copier paper just because it was a little, nicked up, damaged, bent a little bit. I got 9 packages of copier paper because it was a little bit beat up, and got a desk lamp because it was a little scuffed, and this metal clipboard thing because what was wrong with it?
The metal clip was stuck, and I sprung it and released it and got the clip working. It was one of those steel clipboards that, like, inventory people or the state troopers use.
Right.
It's got a place to put all the information, and a clip holds somebody's ID while you're copying the information, and it's just, one of those $25, $30 things, and all they needed to do was spring the clip.
Yeah.
But I talked to Peter about it later, and he said they had a 0 resale policy. Anything came in for whatever reason, it was destroyed. He said, first week he worked there, somebody returned a chair for some stupid reason. It was a perfectly usable chair. They made him take a knife to the chair and cut up the cushions so it couldn't be reused by anyone, and then take it out to the dumpster and throw it away.
Yeah, I don't understand that policy.
What a wasteful policy.
It's like stuff that you return to Amazon. I get the feeling they just junk it,
It's thrown into bins. They basically verify that you returned what it said it was supposed to be.
It's the same as
They throw it into these big containers, and they have warehouse sales every so often, once a month or once a quarter, and they mark the bins $1, $5, $10, $20, etc. dollars, and they put these tags on it that signify 1, 5, 10, whatever. And on the warehouse days, you go in and you scrounge around in these big gaylords full of junk and see what kind of finds you can get. I have seen people that go in and get 9 pairs of good socks, but the 10th pair is something's wrong with them.
right.
And they pay $1 or $5 for it. And it's because it costs so much. Initially, one of the things that I was doing for a while was working for this company that would go and buy missent or damaged goods, things like that, and then scrap it for whatever ends, like sell it on eBay or recycle it for goods. This is back when you could ship an entire container of metal to China, and they would buy the scrap metal was at incredible prices. But then we had several selling accounts where we would just sell oddball things, and it just, some of it ended up going to charity locally for fundraisers. But they've since moved away from that, and they just do their warehouse sales now.
Well, it's the same thing as all the food that's wasted in this country because it's cosmetically not acceptable.
It goes beyond the time. You worked at McDonald's when you were young. Mm-hmm. And once you've made the number of quarter pounders, if it sits there more than 10, 15, 30 minutes, then it has to be thrown away.
It goes in the trash, yeah.
And so there were times that you said that you would put things delicately on top of the trash or something.
Yeah.
So that you could, I'm taking this out, and you take it out and grab a bite to eat. It's because the burger's a little old.
Yeah, they had
But
a.
the same thing happened with you at Golden Pantry too, right?
Yeah, I used to work at this Golden Pantry, and let me think how this worked. What was the deal? Oh, that's right.
Oh, it was the expiration stuff?
Somebody was coming by.
Health department.
No, I can't think what the deal was. But I know what it was. On the very same day these two things happened, all this crackers and cookies, they all expired. And the woman who was in charge that day, she was a veteran of the convenience store trade.
Mismanagement trade.
And she said, now look, she's sort of like winking at me when she does this. She goes, okay, you need to put all of this stuff into garbage bags and put it in the dumpster. And she's winking like, do it delicately.
Yeah.
And so,
Because they've all gone to their Best By day.
yeah,
Instead.
I think somebody had come by and said, all this is, you got to throw all this away. So the guy, well, as soon as the guy leaves, we take it all back out of the dumpster and divide it up. But on the same day, this also happened. The freezer went out, and she's like, "Well, all this stuff's just gonna melt." So I called my mother and said, "You gotta come up here and help me. Come on!" And all this ice cream and stuff. And my mother's like, "This is typical of my mother. Are you sure this is okay? Are you sure this is legal? I don't know. I don't get in trouble." Who cares?
This is the woman that returned a videotape after the videotape.
Oh, it happened.
business. And then there was the pizza pan she went after you for.
Yeah, I had stolen it back when, I don't know, I haven't eaten Pizza Hut in years, but when they started the deep dish thing, they would bring the pizza to you in this big deep dish. Do we still have that pan?
I want to say yes, but
It's
I
got
can't.
Pizza Hut stamped on the bottom of it. But anyway, so a friend of mine and I were eating, and we couldn't finish the pizza, so we told the woman, "Can you bring us a box of the pizza?" Well, she's just like, "Here." And she hands us the box. We're like, "Fine." I put the whole pizza in there, pan and all, into the box and took it home. And my mother had a fit about that. But I had a long time ago, Kroger rented video cassettes. And I rented Purple Rain. And this is back when you had to join up as a member and all this crap. You got a card and everything. And I kept it and never returned it. And they never said anything. Well, when my mother found out, she threw a fit and she drove up. This is maybe a year later. She drove up there, and this belongs to you.
At this point, the business didn't even exist anymore. They no longer rented things.
Another thing was, when I quit McDonald's, I just kept the uniform. You're not supposed to do that. And when she found out, she threw a fit and drove up there and returned it.
They charge you like 50 cents a paycheck for your uniform, I think. At least they did way back.
What a horrible job that was. Oh my God. I'll tell you a story about that. The guy who owned all of the McDonald's in Athens and in
Winder.
Lawrenceville too, I think. Well, why? He owned a bunch of McDonald's. Well, his son was in training to take over the business. So, according to McDonald's, you got to work your way up. You got to manage at all these different levels. But he was like the assistant manager of this McDonald's that I worked at. And there was a woman who worked there. She made the biscuits every day. She was heavily pregnant. Well, anyway, one day she didn't show up to work. There was something wrong with the pregnancy, and she had to drive to Augusta and all this shit. Well, in the middle of the work shift, somebody received a phone call that she had lost the baby. The baby had died. There was a basement under the McDonald's where they had the break room and they kept all this crap. Well, anyway, one by one, all the women I worked with disappeared down into the basement because they were all crying and trying to, sympathize with each other. So this dude, the owner's son, he's up there, by the counter. He turns around and I'm all by myself at the grill. And he goes, "Where's everybody at?" And I said, "Well, so-and-so lost her baby and they're all upset and they're all down in the basement." He had a spatula in his hand or something, and he banged on this stainless steel thing, and he goes, "Babies die every day. Give me 6 Max."
Jesus fuck.
Oh my God.
Before corporate sold to Messer and his franchisee, there was a guy who used to work at the McDonald's on the Atlanta Highway. And because of its proximity to Beechwood and several of the old folks' homes, it was the place for all the old people to go in the mornings.
Mm-hmm.
And his name, I think, was Dan Everett.
Oh my God.
And Dan worked there, and he was their social liaison. He got a token amount of money. He came in every day. He would pour coffee for everyone, chat up all the old ladies, guffaw with the old men. He had on a jacket with the M logo on it. It was his raison d'etre. He loved his job, and it cost next to nothing to have him. But when Messer bought everything out, first thing he did was fire Dan Everett. And with it, all the old folks stopped coming.
Well, you just reminded me of 2 things. Yeah, so that's the McDonald's I worked at. These old people would come in every morning, and there was a guy named Mr. Burke, and he wanted his scrambled eggs or something.
A certain way. Yep.
And they called it Mr. Burke Special, and you had to learn how to do it because basically he didn't want the eggs but barely cooked.
He wanted them runny.
Yeah, and I had to learn how to do it exactly right. So you didn't do Mr. Burke Special right. Anyway, but you also reminded me that last night, we signed up for BritBox from Amazon Prime just so we could watch the new McGray series with...
he means 2015, 2016. Rowan Atkinson.
Oh, I thought it was more recent than that.
No, it wasn't.
Well, anyway, Rowan Atkinson plays Inspector Maigret. And I like Rowan Atkinson, and to see him in a serious role I thought would be great. Well, to be honest, I was kind of disappointed because it's kind of, it was kind of flat and boring. I mean, as far as the props, the sets, the costumes, everything, it was perfect, for that late 40s, early 50s feel. But, and this is the thing about, even the books are kind of flat because the whole point of McGray is not who did it, but why, And Rowan Atkinson doesn't do anything because McGray is not an action hero. And so I'm just kind of like, I'll tell you, I'm going to give it one more episode, but if it's this kind of, big nothing, I'm not going to watch it, the rest of it. Oh, where in the hell are we at?
Let's see. We're Bethlehem Road.
I used to take this route every day to go up here to work in Duluth, and
everything's changing.
Everything is changing. They're adding more and more crap
everywhere.
Long time ago, I had a seizure and I couldn't drive for 6 months, so Bonnie had to drive me. And we got stuck in this massive traffic jam because some asshole had climbed up on one of the overpasses and was threatening to jump, and so they backed up traffic for miles and miles. Oh my God. Weather report said it wasn't going to start raining until 7 p.m. And here it is, 10:30 in the morning, and it's already raining. It's cleared up ahead, though. Look, you can see almost sky. Almost. I got a cough today, too, for some reason. Sort of a flat, back at the throat cough, you know? Not phlegmy.
Okay, back to 65, thank God.
Oh my God. Up ahead is Hog Mountain Road. This Hog Mountain Road.
Making progress, are we?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're getting there. Let's see where we're at. We've been talking for 40 minutes. That means another 20 until we get to where I used to turn off to go to work. I worked up here for 9 years, okay? And I remember just being so depressed that first night. I mean, I was really, really upset because I just couldn't believe that this had happened to me. And, you know, I'm 56 now. And after a while, you realize that life is not all candy and roses. And you do have horrible things that happen to you. And, but anyway, the point I'm getting at is, so the first couple of weeks I was up here, I was trying to make myself indispensable to these people, and because I wanted the, you know, I didn't want to be hassled too much. And after a while, you get to know everybody. You get to know the entire building. You get to know the routine. You get to know where stuff is at. You know, and then it's over. I've been back in Athens almost 2 years, and I'm beginning to forget people's names. I'm beginning to forget the whole thing. And I've heard word that the whole building's changed now up there, and they've moved stuff around, and it's
You'd have to start all over again, wouldn't you?
yeah, it's bizarre that you. And I look back at all the places I've worked and all the people I've met at different places I've worked, and I knew them at one time, and would sometimes socialize with them, and it's all just gone, faded away. I remember my dad telling me years ago he couldn't believe how many jobs I've had.
He couldn't what?
He couldn't believe how many different jobs I've had.
Even this one, how long? 7 years?
In March, I mean in April I'll be there 28 years.
Jesus.
Still can't retire. Oh Lord God. I deliberately tried to sleep off so I'll be able to stay awake today. So last night I went to sleep and woke up after midnight, and I felt really good, like I'd really had a good nap. And I rolled over and looked at the clock. I was like, oh wow, it's my birthday. I'm 56 now.
I left you a card at that point.
Yeah, it was a sweet, sweet card. One of the sweetest cards you've ever given me.
And now I can't remember what I wrote.
Another year older, another year together. It was
Another year older together.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. When I was younger, to hear that someone was 56,
That was old.
it was old. That was, you're 56?
The year our parents became grandparents, you know?
No, my,
They were older.
no, I was 26 when I became a parent. That means my dad was 48
Jesus.
when he became a grandparent.
My folks were in their 50s.
Yeah, your dad's a couple years older than mine.
He was like within a year of your mother.
Yeah.
And my mother was the same year as your mom,
My mother.
but older than her.
My mother would have been 82 this year. I always remember she's born the same year Mick Jagger.
Wow, that's the way to remember your mom.
Well, for years, I could never remember what year she was born. I would think 41, 42,
43.
43. They are really making changes around here.
Yep.
Look at all that junk up on the hill.
Oh, God. What a shithole.
Shithole.
It is.
Shithole? My home this is.
You ready to call it quits?
Do you want to call it quits?
I think I am.
All right, let me
I need to get closer to Atlanta.
think if there's anything else we have to talk about. Well, you know what? We have another episode to do this week anyway, so I guess we'll call it quits and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Happy birthday, Lance.
Thank you.